All right, Isran. You've got us all here. Now what do you want?
Hold it right there.
What are you doing?
Making sure you're not vampires. Can't be too careful. So, welcome to Fort Dawnguard. I'm sure you've heard a bit of what we're up against. Powerful vampires, unlike anything we've seen before. And they have an Elder Scroll. If anyone is going to stand in their way, it's going to be us.
This is all well and good, but do we actually know anything about what they're doing? What do we do now?
We'll get to that. For now, get acquainted with the space. Soreen, you'll find room to start your tinkering on that crossbow design you've been working on. Gunmar, there's an area large enough for you to pen up some trolls. Get them armored up and ready for use. In the meantime, we're going to get to the bottom of why a vampire showed up here looking for you. Let's go have a little chat with it, shall we?
Florentius really talks to RK?
Not sure. I've never heard of the Divine speaking directly to someone before.
So you think he's just crazy?
I didn't say that. I wondered if perhaps he did it for the attention. But every now and then he'll say something that makes me reconsider.
I suppose we're all a little crazy to be here, right?
This vampire showed up while you were away. I'm guessing it's the one you found in Dim Hollow Crypt. Says it's got something really important to say to you. So let's hear it.
You probably weren't expecting to see me again. I'd rather not be here either, but I needed to talk to you. It's important, so please, just listen before your friend here loses his patience. It's about me and the Elder Scroll that was buried with me. The reason I was down there, and why I had the Elder Scroll. It all comes back to my father. I'm guessing you figured out this part already, but my father's not exactly a good person, even by vampire standards. He wasn't always like that, though. There was a turn. He stumbled onto this obscure prophecy and just kind of lost himself in it. He just became absorbed, obsessed. It was kind of sick, actually. The prophecy said that vampires would no longer need to fear the sun. For someone who fancied himself as vampire royalty, that's pretty seductive. Anyway, my mother and I didn't feel like inviting a war with all of Tamriel, so we tried to stop him. That's why I was sealed away with the scroll. I did. But something about you makes me think I can trust you. I hope I'm not wrong. Well, let's move then. I'm nothing if not persuasive.
All right, you've heard what it has to say. Now tell me, is there any reason I shouldn't kill this blood-sucking fiend right now? Set my hatred aside? Not a chance. It's what keeps me strong. You'd better know what you're doing. It can stay for now, but if it so much as lays a finger on anyone here, I'll hold you responsible. Got it, you hear me? Don't feel like a guest, because you're not. You're a resource. You're an asset. In the meantime, don't make me regret my sudden outburst of tolerance and generosity. Because if you do, your friend here is going to pay for it.
Thank you for your kindness. I'll remember it the next time I'm feeling hungry. So, in case you didn't notice the giant thing on my back, I have the Elder Scroll with me. Whatever it says, it will have something that can help us stop my father. But of course, neither of us can read it. Well, the moth priests are the only ones I've heard of who can do it. They spend years preparing before they start reading, though. Not that it helps us anyway, because they're all half a continent away in Cyrodiil.
Some Imperial scholar arrived in Skyrim a few days ago. I was staking out the road when I saw him pass by. Maybe that's your moth priest.
Do you know where he's staying now?
No, and I'm not going to waste men looking. We're fighting a war against your kind, and I intend to win it. You want to find him? Try talking to anyone who'd meet a traveler. Innkeepers and carriage drivers in the big cities, maybe. But you're on your own.
Any idea how you're going to find a moth priest? Skyrim's a pretty big place. Well, back before you know. The College of Winterhold was the first place I'd think to go to for any kind of magic or historical thing. The wizards know about all kinds of things that people probably shouldn't know about. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along with you. I've been really wanting to get out and explore a bit. Here we are. Yes. The welcome I received felt really cold, even by vampire standards. My father, after all these years, that's the first thing he asked me. I trust you have the scroll. Yes, I have the scroll, gods. Thanks. Sorry, I have a whole host of emotions I don't know how to deal with. My family. It probably wasn't what you'd call normal. Yeah, let's move. I'm glad you're here with me. So, where are we off to now? It still feels kind of weird, waking up after thousands of years, even at this point. Just thinking about an empire in Cyrodiil, I definitely thought everything would end with the Remnants. What's the plan? The College of Winterhold. I've read about this place, but never really been here myself. It's a bit underwhelming, to say the least. Everything just seems so crumbly. Well, that's more for the main city, if you'd even call it that. But the college doesn't seem to be in the best shape either. It also doesn't help that most of the locals here despise the college. At least from what I've heard. Oh. Yes? All right.
How are you, Drevis?
What do you want?
Why should I want anything? Why can't I simply be sociable with my colleagues?
Yeah,
I'm busy
actually.
right now, Colette.
I definitely
Well
didn't
then,
expect there to be a
fine.
war of succession
Have a
while
nice
I was
day.
gone. Also, I never expected a Cyrodiilic empire to conquer Tamriel. The Tiber Septim. Even the Remnants didn't achieve godhood. But what do you think of all this? Me too. Looks like we agree on something.
Finally, a place where I'm in my element.
Greetings, Archmage.
Eleanor, the library is in disarray. When books are strewn about here and there, it makes it impossible to determine if a book's been checked out.
I'm sorry. It's just the professors come in here and scatter the books without any concern for the person who has to clean up. I thought it might be more efficient if I waited until the end of the day to put the books back on the shelves.
And shall I be forced to wait until the end of the day as well? I will need to have a word with Urag regarding your training.
Greetings, Archmage.
Oh, no.
A moth priest?
Not really.
What in oblivion do you need a moth
Actually,
priest for?
I've forgotten what I was looking for.
Fine,
that?
fine. No
Oh,
need to
yes,
get your
yes,
britches
thank
in a
you.
twist. The obvious answer is to go to the Imperial City. The moth priests make their home in the White Gold Tower. Sometimes they go out looking for Elder Scrolls. Lucky for you, there's a moth priest in Skyrim right now, doing just that. He stopped in to do some research in the library, then left for Dragonbridge. If you hurry, you might catch him there.
Confound it all! This page too! That makes 5 in total. This is unacceptable! A page from one of these texts, and 4 others, torn right from the spine. I've consulted with Urog's apprentice girl, and she insisted, rather emphatically, that none of these tomes have been checked out for years. I told the girl that wouldn't preclude a thief from browsing the cases. I don't blame her, though. It's the head librarian's duty to keep more sensitive texts behind sealed doors. Or perhaps it's the fault of the one who trained him. In either case, the result is the same. It is as I feared. Someone has managed to steal key pages from the writings of Trictus.
Oh, no, not really. Actually, I've forgotten what I was looking for.
Well then, let me know if you need anything.
What's that? Oh, yes. Thank
Indeed.
you. I will.
Although I doubt that name lacks reverence here. This is an institution of higher learning, I hope. It certainly has the pretension of one. It is not an error. It's far more likely that Urag holds an opposing position regarding the substance of these texts. Not to mention a stubborn refusal to recognize that a controversial theory might actually have merit. Until next time.
Are you seeing this? check it out. The college has got so many books here. I've never been to a proper library before. We kind of had one back on the island, but can you compare that to this? To think, all the countless books they have stored here. The decades, the eras of knowledge. The tales of stories of heroes of old, fables, legends, all sorts of narratives. I know we have important things to do, but don't you think it would be a good idea if we'd relax here for a bit? Just browse what they have to offer. And you don't have to keep dawdling there like a thrall. Come on, see if there's anything you'd like to read. Wow, are you seeing this? Not bad, not bad. I feel like I could spend ages in here. Or I have an even better idea. Cast a pocket reality spell and take all these books with me. Time flows differently in Oblivion, so that would mean I could read all these books without a care in the world. Though, that would require me knowing that spell, which I don't. I just know someone mentioned it to my mom once. Ugh.
To wait until the end of the day as well.
Well, just give me a second. Huh. Dwemer recipe to create an ancilla. Mechanical intelligence. The first one... Cortana, it was called. Which was then inserted into a Dwemer exoskeleton, linking the user with this ancilla. Interesting. And I'm done. Dwemer schematics. They're pretty interesting. All right. Do you need something? All right.
Yeah, actually. This might seem a bit heavy, but hear me out. What's your outlook on life? What gets you up every morning? That's great to hear. It gives me comfort that there are people like you out there, trying to do what you do. I'll be glad to help, if that's all right. Ever since we've been going here, I've always wondered how things compared to the Mages Guild. Are they largely the same? Or do they differ in a lot of ways?
Best offense is a good defense, am I right? Ah, so that was a moth priest then. He rode through town not long ago with an escort of soldiers. They didn't stop, just headed south, across the Dragon Bridge.
All right then.
Here.
All right, let's do this.
Better die for that.
The more you fight me, the more you will suffer, mortal.
I will resist you, monster. I must.
How much longer can you keep this up, Moth Priest? Your mind will...
Resist. Stop! I yield!
Nice work.
That wasn't me. You were fighting. I could see through my eyes. I could not control my actions. Thank you for breaking that foul vampire's hold over me. You arrived just in time. I think those vampires were getting hungry. I'm quite all right, thanks to you. Deviant Amacus is my name. I'm a moth priest of the White Gold Tower. These vampires claimed they had some purpose in store for me, but they wouldn't say what. Probably hoping to ransom me, the fools. You do? All right then, enough mysteries. You have an Elder Scroll. Remarkable. If my knowledge of history serves me, I recall that the Dawn Guard was an ancient order of vampire hunters. I will be happy to assist you with your Elder Scroll. Just tell me where I need to go. Very well. I'll hurry on my way there before more of those vampires turn up.
So, what do you want to talk about?
All right.
What do you mean? Well, I guess it's because I never felt that kind of thing was for me. I was always expected to act a certain way, and was never really asked if that was what I truly wanted. I always knew I was meant for more, not like one of those girls who felt pretty and stood inside their castles all day. And then things started getting icy between my parents. That basically hit the nail on the head for me, at least for how I wanted to live. I saw neither of them as role models after that.
So,
Oh? What is it? Now that I think of it, there is. What brings you to Skyrim?
well, I suppose it must have been. You do seem to always be at the center of things, don't you? I see. For what it's worth, I'm sorry you got dragged into this whole mess with my family. When this is all over, let's take a break somewhere. Perhaps... Do let me know if you need anything. Hey, so... As an Imperial, I must say, your Cyrodiilic brandy is truly something else. I would rather not say, if that's all right. Well, just because it's you, I'll make an exception. My mother had to leave the island for some urgent business one day, so I snuck into her laboratory. You know, to create some potions, test out some necromancy, fiddle around with things I really wasn't supposed to. But one thing did catch my eye. That brandy. I didn't really consider why she even had it there. I just decided to take a small sip. It truly tasted like something else. So I decided to finish the entire bottle in one swig. I absolutely loved it. I was already a vampire at this point, though, so don't worry. I didn't pass out, vomit, or anything like that. But when my mother did come home, though, she was angry, most definitely. She said it costed a premium, and that it was meant to be a token gift to one of the newer members of my father's court. And as a punishment, I got janitorial duties around the castle for the better part of the month. And even as a vampire, to me, that felt like a long time.
This isn't exactly a palace, is it? Still, it's sturdy, secure, and seems defensible. I suppose I'd rather be here than most other places in Skyrim. If Isran needs me, it must be pretty bad. I wonder what we're up against here. Yes, these vampires are a new threat, and a truly deadly one. Gunmar and I agree that we're going to need Florentius to help. Gunmar and I have a lot of work to do here, so we were hoping that maybe you could track him down. He's a priest of Archay. Well, he was. It's complicated. He's a little eccentric, but we can trust him, and we could definitely use his skills. Well, that's the thing. We don't know where he is. Haven't seen him in years. I think he had regular contact with the Vigilance, and I know Isran kept track of them. So maybe you could ask Isran if he knows anything? Just keep in mind that he Might not like the idea.
I'm impressed you could find a moth priest so quickly. For the reading? Yeah. Just let the old man know when you're ready. I knew it would come to this one day. I knew. And no one believed. Who said something? Serene or Gunmar? I thought they'd have learned their lesson by now. I don't trust that man. And I don't want him here. I suppose she's right. I shouldn't let my personal feelings get in the way. Last I heard of him, he was aiding the vigilance of Stendarr at Runwald. He may still be there. If he can maintain some appearance of normalcy, I'll allow him to stay. Stay alert.
So, what's on your mind? Great. Another dungeon crawl. This is just lovely. Why is this Florentius person even necessary to help? Because we'd be going through all this trouble to rescue him. And please do keep in mind that I'm still not too comfortable with slaying my own kind. I can get where you're coming from with Serene and Gunmar, but Isran, not really. Don't you remember that you had to convince him in the first place? If I were a betting woman, I'd say there's no convincing you, at the very least. Well, for what it's worth, I'll come with you. Anywhere's better than hanging around here in the fort.